in a timely manner. As the governor mentioned, we have some other areas in this region that we're working as well, but for the most part, most of the highways are clear and very little interruption in the ability to travel throughout this region. I want to thank the citizens for within this area for their good evacuation and being able to get traffic in and out of this area. Everything flowed very smoothly for us, including the reversal on I-26. We implemented it an hour and a half early due to traffic demands, and we extended it an additional 2 hours due to traffic demand, and that flowed very well out, and it's been operating as we had anticipated for the reentry this morning. So DOT roads are in good shape. We continue to work with the power companies as needed in the last few areas to get them in, partnered up with them, cut trees as required to help get power restored. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. And as they were telling us at Myrtle Beach, the coast is clear. So anyone who wants to go to the beach, now's the good time to go. Tom Rice, Congressman, please.
Thank you, Governor and Secretary Hall. The word that comes to my mind is thankful. Yesterday morning, when I woke up, we had a Category 3 hurricane headed right at us. And the thoughts that were going across my mind were, well, our beach is going to be destroyed. The dunes will be gone. We'll have months of cleanup and fixing up to do. The roads will be messed up. We're going to have flooding again. And none of that happened. You know, halfway through the day, that hurricane kind of took a right, and it slowed down in its severity. And the governor, I talked to him this morning. He took credit for that. He said his speech making did that. But I found out today that the mayor had a prayer circle, so that may have had something to do with it as well, with these fine bishops here behind us. Now, this could have been so very much worse. I was here in this EOC in Georgetown 2 days ago, and in the Horry County EOC. And the work you guys do, I just can't thank you enough. These people, they come to work in a disaster like this on a Tuesday, and they don't go home until Sunday. These people are devoted to protecting life and limb, and it paid off. It absolutely paid off. We've had a little too much practice, I'm afraid, but I can't thank you enough for what you've done. We have certainly dodged a huge bullet. We've been very blessed. We are open for business. If you're looking for a vacation, now is the time. September, October, just beautiful. The beaches are in great shape. Businesses are open again, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. EMD Director Cindy Grace, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Governor and Secretary Hall. Thank you so much for coming down and visiting with us today. I just want to say thank you to our team. We have one of the best teams in the state, I believe. We have had a lot of practice in the real world, and we practice all the time. Exercise training. So we couldn't do it though without our partners, and that includes the state. So we could not just, I don't even know what to say about that. Communication this time is wonderful. So thank you so much for what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Mayor Brendan Barber.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Secretary Hall and Congressman Rice, also our state representatives Hewitt and Anderson. I must tell you that the key, we had a very solid, unique plan, but I told the governor in the back along with the others, we've moved from being a team to a family. It was a genuine care for one another as a city, as a county, and as a state. And I can tell you, I've never had an experience like this where you can personally just pick up the phone, you can call the governor, your congressman, or your state representatives, or senator, or your county officials, and immediately you get a response back. But more importantly, it was the folks who are on the front line, those of you that serve here in our Emergency Operations Center, those who are out in the hurricane-force winds, who are out there making sure our citizens were safe. And when the governor called and he said, Mayor, can you tell me you have a king tide coming in along with a storm surge, 3 to 6 feet above king tide, and Sal and I were talking, and we're like, oh, here we go again. But not only through preparation, but through prayer. Our prayer was answered because I called Reverend Anderson, and he brought in our bishop of the city, Bishop Smith. And, of course, you see the results. But, Governor, we just want to thank you.
Thank you.
We want to thank you for being the person that you are. because you look beyond the office and you genuinely care about us, the citizens here in your state. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Representative Carl Anderson.
Thank you, Governor, and Director Christie, and to everybody who makes up the team. Certainly, Georgetown County EOC is a great team, and I want to say thank you to all of you, law enforcement, city and the county, and all of those persons that came together to make sure that the citizens of Georgetown County and surrounding areas were taken care of. I had several calls from the governor, and we talked several times, and he is a very compassionate person, and we want to thank you, Governor, for being that way and caring about the citizens of your state. And then I want to say thank you to Director Hall for making sure that the traveling part is taken care of. And so everybody just came together and worked very hard. And so we just say thank you. I spoke to the governor several times, and he was concerned about the flooding once again in Georgetown. But as the mayor said, we thank and pray, and we ask God for victory, and he gave us victory on yesterday because it kept turning to the water side. And so we're just very happy. Thank you, everybody, for being here and doing what you do best, and that is taking care of the citizens. Now, I must say this, that you're going to get an extra day off for all the hard work that you've done. Thank you.
Representative Lee Hewitt.
Thank you, Governor. It's great to be towards the tail end of everybody because everybody's been thanked and everything's been said. But, you know, again, I do want to thank the governor for reaching out during the storm and asking if he could help. And he was there if we needed it. Secretary Hall for what she did. And I was on the phone with her staff up as late as 9:30 last night and then first thing this morning with her. Also want to thank the staff of DHEC who helped make sure that our hospitals were up and operating. And made sure our coastal management plans were in place to protect our biggest asset in our tourism industry for that. And to SEL and the EOC staff, thank y'all. I look around, I see a lot of familiar faces. I appreciate what y'all do and the hard work you've put up for this year, and thank y'all.
Thank you. And again, the key to it is communication, collaboration, and cooperation. And we had plenty of that, and we will continue to get stronger and better for the next hurricane or any other disaster that comes our way. But I need to mention that there's a question of timing, and we know the hurricane, as I mentioned before, slowed down to about 1 mile an hour for an entire day. I think now it's moving. It was at 8 miles an hour, and then I think it's up in the teens now. But if that hurricane had been moving a couple of miles an hour faster, a couple of miles an hour slower when it got here, the results would have been different. If it'd been in about 5 miles closer, which it looked like it was going to be, instead of out 5 miles further, the results would have been different. So the only thing you can do is be prepared. But we've got a great team, and it is, as the mayor says, is like a family. And also a key part of that are the volunteers, the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and many more people. We can't do with that. With that, are there any questions? Sir.
Georgetown and many other coastal communities dodged quite a bullet with the hurricane, but this city floods on a high tide. So is there anything that we looked at so the future of this city doesn't end up underwater?
Well, yes, we have data that we are accumulating. The Department of Transportation accumulates data. The Department of Natural Resources accumulates data. DHEC accumulates data. But as I said before, we live in a beautiful place, but we're on the coast. And we're taking steps to determine what we can do to make water our friend. But again, it takes planning and experience, and we have plenty of both, and we're taking steps now.
Water Commission.
Big one. We have a floodwater commission that has been meeting and is meeting. We'll meet again on November the 7th in Myrtle Beach to again explore solutions, including the Dutch solutions. So we're doing everything that we can reasonably conceive of doing that'll make a difference. Any more questions?
Do you have any numbers on the National Guard, the South Carolina National Guardsmen over in Pawleys Island area? Do you know how many people are out there?
I don't have the numbers on the top of my head. I know there were plenty of them. We had thousands of people activated. Do
Yes,
you have some numbers?
I'm not certain on the National Guard stats, but I will say that the DOT mobilized numerous crews into that area to help with the sand removal. Of course, we have drainage structures that have to be cleaned out as well, and then some additional debris on that area. Pawleys Island is currently our highest priority in this area from a restoration standpoint, and so we're applying as many resources as we can get into that area and work efficiently and effectively.
And yesterday, Acting Director Pete Gaynor of FEMA was in Columbia meeting with us, and also the commander of the Corps of Engineers, Major General Holland. So we're getting information and assistance from every source. Are there any more questions?
And kind of a theme with the last question I asked, as the seas continue to rise either way at the coastline, naturally or through sea levels rising, how are state leaders going to determine which communities are going to be worth giving extra protection and where to draw boundaries?
Well, all that's a part of the planning. We hope that the Floodwater Commission, among other bodies, will have some suggestions to make there. Are there any more questions?
Are the rivers going to be a concern for you guys?
Rivers are well, they're always a concern. As you know, they were last year. They flooded, and that was a source of a lot of damage. It does not seem that we're having that situation.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about
Yes, sir.
bridges.
If you'd like, I'll provide a little detail on that. So, the State Emergency Management, along with the Department of Natural Resources and others, have been producing a forecast for the levels of the Waccamaw. That was the one river that we were most concerned about, and I'm glad to report that over the last 2 days, those flood models have actually decreased with regards to the predicted elevation rise of the river. The last forecast this morning, which is a very good forecast because it's based off of actual rainfall data that fell in the region in North Carolina, indicates very little issue or concern. We're not anticipating, based off of this updated forecast, any road closures or any need to close any bridges as a result of flooding from the Waccamaw. So very good news there as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, sir. Take care. I look forward to that. I'm not sure what time service is.
I'm trying to coordinate.